hunters. We gotta put them in their place.
In this Chrono Odyssey developer interview, MMO that's coming out this year that looks amazing, by the way, I will say. And we're having a beta for it next month. All right, let's talk about Chrono Odyssey and how the recent beta went for the majority of people and what they think of it. And what they think of it
somehow. Now, I played the game yesterday for 8 hours on stream, and I recorded a video right after giving my first impressions, like immediate, visceral first impressions, and it was bad. Like, I rewatched it, and I was incredibly
Chrono
harsh.
Odyssey has
I think
just
the game is
released its
deserving of a
first
lot of harsh
beta
criticism,
on
to be
June
honest.
the
And
20th.
That's when I
I
was
came away
this has
thinking the
not
game was
come without
really
any
bad.
so
There was
mad at
simply
myself.
no
A lot of
reason to
players
play this
have
game or be
been
excited
posted.
for it.
As a
And
result
just
of the
beta
hype
testing
build
process.
You know, a
up,
few hours
Obviously
today,
wants a
after
ton
to
of
see if
work.
my
I can
opinion
already
changes,
tell from my
the
short
gameplay,
time
the
that
trailers
another
that they've
sloppy
released.
Korean-made MMO that, despite not being a cash grab just yet, probably will be within a few years. Don't.
It looks a little bit underwhelming in comparison.
overall, the game is not going to be incredibly successful in its current state.
not very good, okay? But I will say, this is my opinion. May feel different, may feel the same. I feel like Chrono Odyssey could be a good game. It has a very good foundation.
What?
Foundation. You know, like, well, I can't really say New World had a good foundation. Well, it did. You know, like the crafting system, the farming and all that going out in the world. In New World, was pretty good. The coding for the game was pretty bad. Okay, but I feel like it's pretty much the same with Chrono Odyssey. You know, the world is beautiful if your system can run it, first of all. You know, farming and materials, crafting, pretty good. Combat, some people like it, some people don't. Subjective. I like the combat in Chrono Odyssey. That's not bad. But I will say the performance isn't too good on this game. And I said this before, this isn't the only game. It's an Unreal 5 engine problem. Okay, first of all. We've seen it with other games. It really taxes the system. I wouldn't harp on this so much, but you know, if you say like recommended specs, like in the Steam thing or whatever, well, I expect the game to perform decently. You know, I'm not asking for like epic settings, ray tracing, or anything like that at all. But you say you need ITEL this, you know, AMD this, NVIDIA 3070. You know, I don't know the AMD sides of cards, but you know, you see that, and it's like, okay, well, I have a card above that, or you know, or better, way better. Well, I think this is going to perform pretty good on my system. Get into the game, and it doesn't. Okay, it's disappointing, and you know, I see a lot of people defending this game and everything, which is totally fine, their opinion and everything. But first impressions are everything, okay? And a lot of people had a bad first impression. Will they most likely fix the game when it fully releases? Yeah, most likely, probably. But all those thousands, hundreds of thousands of people who tried the game probably won't come back. That's usually how it goes. First impressions are everything. I don't care if you're a big developer or a small developer, okay? Have to make sure that you have a good first impression. That means at least your game will perform decently, not have all these crazy lighting effects and 20, 30 FPS. People have to run their game medium to low settings, because they don't have a 4090, a 50 series card or something, which is, those cards are very expensive. Not every person can afford that kind of card. Okay, a lot of people, including myself, don't have that kind of money, but like I said, I like the game. The combat, I enjoyed the combat. I love, the gathering part of the game. That's what I really liked about New World. Crafting isn't too bad. The aesthetic of the world is pretty good, but we have to see if they can fix the performance of this game. That's gonna help the game out a lot. For some people just don't like the combat, just don't like the world, stuff like that, which I understand that. I still play New World. Yeah, I still play it. Have like 200 hours, maybe a little over 200 hours, and I still play Throne and Liberty. I still enjoy it. I enjoy MMOs, the good and the bad, for many reasons. And I can see the good in this game. I can see the potential in this game. But when your animations are janky, when your prompts, your interactive button and stuff don't work half the time, when you can kill other players in the open world when you're not supposed to, that's kind of like, yeah, why? You didn't look at this? You didn't know about these issues? Or if you did, you wasn't worried about it, I understand, like, this is not a big AAA studio like that. A little bit smaller. I would say that their excuse can only get them so far. Okay? It only can. A lot of people gonna play the game, see how it's performed, the janky animations. They're gonna look at that kind of stuff, not even think about how this isn't a big AAA studio, which they have the right to. Okay, they have the right to do that. A lot of people before the beta even came out compared this game to New World, and I can see that. I can see how this could be a better looking New World and maybe better combat than New World, but overall, in the state we played it in, it's just a worse New World overall. Okay, it's just as with just better graphics. That's the only thing this game has on New World, better graphics. Because when I played it Friday, and I went back to New World, I think like later that night, I was like, yeah, New World looks pretty bad, but it functioned a lot better. New World still has janky animations, but not as many, as Chrono Odyssey. It pretty much had all the features Chrono Odyssey has, but they just work better at the end of the day. And you can say, yeah, what, New World's been out for some years. When did it come out? About 3-4 years ago. So yeah, I know it's gonna perform better, have better systems, because they have a little bit more content because they've been out longer. But when people first played New World in its beta, the majority of people liked it, and when it released on Steam and stuff, it had one of the highest player count of release when it first came out. So there was a lot of people who enjoyed it, just didn't have the content at the end of the day. Once you beat the campaign, got all the gear. There's nothing really much to do. You know, this is Chrono Odyssey has the worst start than New World at the end of the day, no matter how you want to look at it. So we'll see what happens. I hope they fix the issues at the end of the day. If they have to delay the game, I'm fine with that. I'm okay on waiting on a better game at the end of the day. You know? But this is my opinions. Let me know if you feel the same. If you think Chrono Odyssey can be a better game, if they can fix the issue, if it can be as good or better than New World. Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you want, give this video a like, a dislike, ring that bell for more videos. And like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. Peace.